Hi, I'm Connie with Mobile Paw Spa, and this is Cimy. Cymy's like a lot of other dogs. Grooming isn't his favorite thing. As a pet parent, is there anything you can do to make the grooming process less stressful for your dog? Well, I put that question out there to groomers across the country that groom in salons, mobile, where they come to you with a van or a trailer, and also to house call groomers who groom your dog right in your home. And I'm going to share with you their top responses. Now, we're going to start the day before your appointment. If you have any paperwork that needs to be filled out, or if you need vet records, for instance, make sure you have that ready. And also be sure to disclose any health issues or behavior issues, and that's for the well-being of both your dog and your groomer. Now, you also want to check to make sure they have a properly fitting collar. You want to get 2 fingers in between there, but you don't want it so loose that if they should pull, that it can slide off their head. That's very important. And if they're a master at escaping out of their collar, it might not be a bad idea to have a harness. Now, if you use a retractable leash, just go ahead and get that locked into a short length. Retractable leashes can be very dangerous. It's very easy for people and pets to get tangled up into that long cord. Now, when you take them for car rides, so if you're going to a salon and you typically have their favorite toy along or treats, you want to get those together as well. And I like to just have a little bag, and I just put everything in there. So everything is ready to go. Now, for the day of your appointment, this is especially important if you have a high energy dog. They really need some exercise. Now, I understand if you have an early drop-off time and you have to get to work, there might not be a lot of time for a long walk, but at the very least, you want to make sure your dog has time to pee and poop. Now, when you're on your way or you're waiting for the groomer to arrive, your dog might know the word groomer, and if they do and they associate it with something negative, we want to avoid saying things like, "Oh, Cimy, I'm so sorry. You have to get groomed today." Definitely don't want to do that. Our dogs really feed off our emotions. So if I sound anxious or stressed, that's exactly how they're going to feel. So if they know the word groomer, let's just not use it anymore. Let's just call it a spa day. And maybe try say something like, "Oh, Cimy, lucky you. You get to have a spa day today." Now, your dog may not know what any of those words mean, but by the tone of your voice and by the look on your face, it sounds like something good. So they're thinking, I don't have anything to be worried about. Now, if you're going to a salon, be mindful of the drop-off time. And if you can, arrive a little bit early and visit their designated relief area. If you don't know where that is, just be sure to ask. This is especially important if your dog didn't do its business at home. And oftentimes once they get there and they start sniffing where other dogs have gone, it kind of stimulates them to go. And of course, always remember to pick up after your dog. Now, very important, leave the leash on. You always need to remain in control of your dog. A loose dog can be disruptive to the other dogs and really to everyone. If you have your small dog in a kennel, leave it in the kennel. The transition should be very quick and very uneventful. You might want to just say something like, "Enjoy your spa day, I'll be back soon." And that's it. Leave, and leave with a smile on your face. Now, if it's mobile, do the same thing. It's very important to keep them on a leash. Now, maybe your dog never leaves the yard, but once we take control of them, we don't want that to be the one time they decide to run into the street and get hurt. That would be awful. So make sure they're on a leash, and then your groomer will take them to the van. Again, very stressful for your dog if they need to be chased around the yard to be caught. Now, whether it's salon, mobile, or house call, one thing we recommend not doing is we don't want you to, if you have a small dog, to hand your dog to us or have us take your dog from your arms. Even if a dog has never showed any signs of aggression, that still can kind of trigger a protective mechanism, and we just don't want anything to happen. So obviously you still want to have your small dog on a leash. set them on a table or the counter and we'll pick them up, or set them on the floor or the ground. And that's just very important. Now, if you're getting your grooming done mobile or house call and you're not going to be home and your dog just has run to the house, try to close off some areas, at least keep your dog onto one level. Most importantly, close off bedroom doors. So again, very stressful for your dog if we have to chase them around the house, try to catch them, especially bad if they're hiding under a bed, and dangerous too. And you know what? That can just kind of set the tone, not a good tone, for the whole groom. Now, if you have kids with you and you're at a salon, for instance, be sure to explain to them that it's bath time or it's haircut time, so they know that the groomer is not going to keep their dog. Imagine how upsetting it is for your dog to hear their favorite kid crying because they don't understand what's going on. Also, just make sure that your kids stay close to you. You don't want them running around, and you don't want them approaching other dogs. Again, that is to keep them safe. Now, if you have a mobile unit parked in front of your home, you want to avoid having your kids playing right outside the van in the front, because your dog is going to hear them and your dog is going to be, thinking, those are my kids, they're playing, I should be with them. So just have the kids play in the house or in the backyard. Now, if it's in-home or house call grooming and it's a new dog, I usually recommend kind of business as usual and just kind of go about your normal activities. But don't be offended if you're asked to leave the room, because oftentimes your presence can be disruptive to the dog. They kind of tend to want to pull away from the groomer and get towards you, and it can just make the grooming more dangerous. And one thing, if at all possible, avoid just popping in to see how it's going. Please wait till we let you know your dog is ready. Understand that we might have 5 minutes left, but once your dog sees you, they get all excited, they get all worked up. Suddenly it's going to be maybe 15 or 20 minutes again before we can get finished up. So unless it's absolutely necessary, and there are certain times that it will be, just try not to pop in. And then a few other tips. If you can get your dog on a regular grooming schedule, that's ideal. Having your dog shaved down once a year in the spring doesn't give them the opportunity to really get used to the process. So I'm not saying you have to get your dog groomed every month, but just a little more often will also help. Now, if your dog also, when you visit a salon, if it tends to just get nervous when you even get close, you might want to try just going in a car ride to the salon when you don't have an appointment. Get out, maybe visit the designated relief area, and if it's in an area where you could go for a walk, go for a little walk. Have some treats, then get back in your car and go home. See if you can kind of desensitize them and they can turn it into a positive thing. Now, on a final note, every now and then there will be the videos flying around the internet of some groomer that is mistreating a dog, and we just hate those. Please understand that those are exceptions, and grooming is like every other profession. There are always going to be a few bad ones, and those are the ones that tend to get the press. That is not what most groomers are like. Now, grooming is not a glamorous profession, and we get pooped on, we get peed on, we get scratched, and occasionally we get bit. So why do we do it? Well, we love dogs, and we love your dogs. And for most of us, we just can't imagine doing anything else. So I hope this helps make the whole grooming process or spa day process a little less stressful for both you and your dog. I welcome any questions you may have or comments, and invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And Cimy and I thank you for watching.